So Virginia ABC, we are what we consider a control state in the alcohol spirits community. So we have 397 stores that we sell spirits, Virginia wine, cordials, and a little tonic water in our stores. And roughly 6.3 million cases were shipped last year to our stores, generating about 1.4 billion in revenues. I started with Virginia ABC in October of 2016. And at the time I talked to our CEO and said, what do you want me to focus on first? And he hands me this report. It's a property study. And the property study was the building we're sitting in, which is our distribution center. Looking back at the old facility, we were limited into what we could do. And part of that was we had a conveyor system that was at end of life. And a software system too that wasn't as robust as what we needed as well. And so from that standpoint, our best day when we could run perfect, we could do 28,000 cases in an 8-hour shift. This building was designed to do 35,000 cases in an 8-hour shift. So from a warehouse perspective, we were very limited in our storage. We had limited racking due to ceiling heights and being an old building. But more importantly was getting to the system side. That's really where we were having gaps. Even though we had a system in place, everything was manual. You know, you had RF devices, but people were hand keying and plugging into the RF devices. They weren't scanning products. And so you can imagine what that led to in terms of accuracy of what you're doing. But beyond that, we couldn't trace the product from the minute it came into the facility to the minute it left the facility and shipped to a store. We could see it in parts of in the building, but we could never trace the transactions all the way through. So we didn't have real-time data. So you can imagine what that does to productivity, inventory replenishments, short picking, all those things that you don't want to have issues with because it affects your productivity and your customer service to your stores. We implemented Manhattan in April of 21. And really it started, we needed to fill a warehouse with product, right? And so at that point, we started the process of receiving. Once we got the receiving done, we actually started shipping out of the facility in August of 21 and moved all of our production over from our old facility in October. Right now with Manhattan active, we can trace the transaction from the minute it hits the dock all the way through put away, to replenishment, to picking, when it runs down the conveyor and into the truck. We have access to all that information. So you talk about one of the main benefits of the system for me is transparency of the information. In terms of output cases per hour, we need to run at 4,600 cases an hour to hit 35,000 in an 8-hour shift. We've had days over the last few weeks heading into our holiday season this year where we've been running over 5,000. Our peak day so far was 5,600 cases an hour. We don't really know what the capability of this building is yet, but a big component of this is their access to information and data. And that's what's helping us be productive. Once we started getting our hands on the data, that was helping our folks in the distribution center make better decisions on where we need to move resources, changes in business processes. So we're optimistic that our cases per hour, we're going to be able to run ahead of 6,000 cases per hour once we can run this place like a symphony. Because the way I look at a distribution center, for everything to work, it's got to run like a symphony to get your maximum productivity. From a standpoint of getting the work done, I was talking to one of our employee engagement team members this morning. She said, folks are getting out of here during peak season on time or a little early. And I said, yeah, and it's a testament to the processes we built and the training and how the system is driving the work. So we've got a really good leadership team here, and their interaction with our folks that are running the system, working on the floor, on the equipment, has been invaluable. Part of this building was to create an environment where we could have folks being successful, but part of that was giving them the tools they needed to be successful.